The Turkish show Muhteşem Yüzyıl is one of my favorite shows. In fact, my second favorite in the entire world after Once Upon a Time. I absolutely love the show and have a lot of nostalgia for it, as I first watched it when I was in year 4 and have watched all the episodes ever since, on Russian but also sometimes on Turkish with English subtitles. On English, this show is called The Magnificent Century, and it has some great characters. And if you haven't watched it, you need to. And these are my reasons why you must watch it. The opening theme song alone tells you everything about what you need to know about this show. It is going to be magnificent. And you can tell this from the very notes. This theme is so enchanting and is a flawless combination of several genres of music into one. It starts out by being very serious and warlike and slowly becomes this very complicated pattern of romantic and tensionful sounds. This is incredible, and it plays during every episode in the intro, so you must watch it just for the theme song alone. The humor in the show is another point I want to really make a strong emphasis on. Unlike many other shows, where the humor doesn't really work for me, even in shows I really like, this one really fits for me. For others, this might be cringy, but for me, this is the kind of humor that really fits, and I think for many as well, because here the humor mostly comes from the way the actors act it out. The actors act out their expressions in such a way that it's so charming that it's just impossible not to smile at. I know that many viewers of my channel might not be the biggest fans of romance, but as far as romance goes in movies, this is probably the best execution of a love stories and love stories in plural, basically, I've seen in a while. The characters here who are in love have incredible chemistry, and the way they fall for each other is incredibly believable. It is all executed with such good lighting, music, charisma. Everything is built so perfectly that I can't praise this show enough. When it comes to war scenes, I'm honestly not the biggest fan of war, I'm more interested in simple conversations. But even in this series, some moments really made me interested. The way everything is shot, the camera movements, the slow motion, and how most of the time the war is narrated by someone. And everything is just very artistic, and that's what I really respect about this show. So I think people who like war in movies and that kind of action, I think they'll really like it, even more than me so. Another very important part of what makes this series so great is the tension. Whenever it feels like it needs to, this series makes sure that you never feel relaxed, and that you're always on the edge of your seat, and that your blood is boiling. And for this series, remarkably, it always works in its favor. Another incredible part of what makes this series so great is the fact that it's based on real Turkish history. I mean, sure, some things are completely made up and most of them are very hyperbolized, but this is still a very fun and educational way to learn about Turkish history, especially since most of the characters, including Ibrahim Pasha and so on, are real people. This show is just phenomenal when it comes to developing its characters. Each character has a unique traits and personality, and we know exactly what each character would do in a certain situation. They change a lot throughout the course of the series, and are forced to view their own situation through different lenses all the time. Suleiman is by far the most interesting character, having a lot of conflict within him, and constantly changing his perspective, but ultimately walking on the same path. The series creates characters we absolutely love, and some we absolutely despise. But all of it is absolutely phenomenal. Sümbül Aga is my favorite character in the show and definitely is one of the key reasons this show is so successful. The movement of his body, his facial features, the emotions and faces he makes all bring such charm and fills the series with life. Whether he's playing the loyal advisor of Sultan Suleiman, like he was in the beginning of the show, or he's playing the great supporter of Harem, or eventually the old advisor of Mihrimah at the end, he is always a delight to watch and makes this show great. In the end, I can definitely say that Muhteşem Yüzyıl, aka The Magnificent Century, is an outstanding series that you must watch.